Hello everybody, it is I, Jxbermudez, and wow, I should really start uploading more than once a month, shouldn't I? Look, this year has kicked me in the teeth, and honestly, I've just been too bummed out to do anything, but who cares? Today we're here to talk about 2020. Oh god, this year sucked. Goodness god, we thought 2016 was bad, at least we could live and eat in restaurants and not have to worry about death if we accidentally touched our eyes. Don't even get me started on the other crap that happened this year. Even when all this is blown over, I feel like there will be freaking essays of how crappy this year was. Goodness god. Oh yeah, video games also happened this year. This year might have been one of the weirdest years for video games I've ever seen. There was still a lot of good games and things that would like to call themselves games. And I myself played a lot of games this year, since what else was I supposed to do when this myth started? Good god. But anyways, like I was saying, I've been playing a lot of games, and this list is my top 5 of ones that I've played this year. Why am I doing top 5? Well, because of terms of new games I've played, I honestly haven't played enough for a top 10, as some games I loved this year technically didn't come out this year, so some games I played will go in the honorable mention segment. Also, another thing is I have not played every game this year, so there will be some noticeable misses. The big ones for me are Doom Eternal, I never got around to that, Hades, I deadass brought that the day before writing this video, Yakuza 7, I was gonna marathon the series another day, and Cyberpunk 2077. Though apparently that had a 50-50 chance of being here regardless. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this! Number 5, Animal Crossing New Horizon. Probably one of the most surprising games this year. I mean, this game took over the damn internet for a while. Remember when we deadass had to use Animal Crossing as our escape from everything so that we could at least pretend like everything was normal? God, that was a time. And I'm sure because of that this game has sold, oh my goodness, 26 million copies! It has sold more than Pokemon, Zelda, and Smash Brothers. Give it time, it'll outdo Mario Kart. Damn, slow down there, Tom Nook, you're rolling in too much dough. But anyways, yeah, this game is pretty enjoyable. Now, I won't lie, the reason this game is this low is because I've long dropped it. I really only come back here and there when I'm just really bored, but the reason it's here as all is, like I said, is that launch was magical. It was just me and my friends enjoying each other's companies while playing a relaxing game. We had some fun with the new creation tools, the crafting system was legit fun to mess around with. And it's a very well made game, and while there wasn't a lot of stuff to do in it at first, the game has been updated since then to have more advanced and stuff of the like. Though none of these have made me jump back into the game as hard as I did originally. Nowadays when I do mess with the game, I play around with the creation element since it's legit fantastic. I mean, you can customize your look to be downright excellent, and you can show respect to your #1 waifu with QR codes. You call it excessive, I call it art. But yeah, Animal Crossing is good, it's Animal Crossing. You play those shits non-stop for like 2 months, then you drop it and come back like, what, once every month? That's just the Animal Crossing curse, alright? Let's move on. Number 4, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Alright, this one's gonna make people mad at me, but my experience with Xenoblade before this was a funny one. I love Xenoblade 2 and have put more hours into it than I'm proud to admit, but as for 1, the only experience I had with it was the Wii version that I played on and off before I was forced to drop it because my old Wii decided to stop reading disc. So when I heard Definitive Edition was coming out, I was excited to finally be able to give this game another shot. Honestly, I debated for a while if it counted for the list, because on one hand, it is a remake, not a re-release. But on the other hand, it's so similar to the original game, it pretty much just makes everything look way better, honestly so much better to the point where I can't even look at the original game anymore. Deadass, I cannot. Every time I look at Wii Shulk, I cringe a little bit. Dysmelia, it disgusts me now that I have dysmelia. But back on the game itself, it does also have a few quality of life changes, but aside from that, it's the same game. Just with an added epilogue that, ironically, I don't think that many people were fans of. I deadass hear nothing about this thing besides that it's good enough ending for Melia, but only Melia. But for the sake of it, I shall count this game as a game that came out this year, and it might be the most mixed I am on a game on this list. I know it's above Animal Crossing, but that's more because this game is props more enjoyable than Animal Crossing as a game itself, since my fondness of Animal Crossing came more from the memories I had playing it with friends. Here, I still enjoyed the game, I just didn't enjoy it as much as other people. I still love the world of this game, the story was overall very good, even if I didn't like some of its pacing and some of the decisions it's made, and the characters are mostly okay. I really do like characters like Shulk, Ryan, Dunban, and Melia, but I didn't care as much as the other characters. Fiora's fine, just nothing to write home about. Charlotte could have been so much better, but they kind of botched her story up, and Ricky was fine. As for the other characters that aren't in the party, I forgot most of their names. None of them stood out to me well besides Metalface and the final boss, but those two were a given. As for the gameplay, I enjoyed it, but not as much as I wish I could, honestly. I can't put my finger on it, but I just got bored of it very fast this time around. Maybe because I was used to 2, maybe because I didn't like it as much as I remember I did, but I don't know! There was something this time around that just didn't click with me. But hey, I enjoyed the gameplay enough to still beat the game. But on another note, there were also side quests. I hated them. I hated doing side quests in this game. There's way too many that have you doing the same shit. Go here to do this. Backtrack here to find this. Kill this many times. It honestly got so boring. I know not every side quest is like that. There are some that do have stories to tell, but like, damn. I just stopped caring in general because doing side quests was just that tedious to me. But besides from that, I can still see why this game is beloved to so many people. I'm just not one of the people who fell in love with it as hard as others, but I still enjoyed it a lot. The good moments of this game are fantastic, and who knows, maybe one day I'll play this game again and see something in it that I didn't see now. But as of right now, it's a game I liked enough to put here. Anyways, let's move on before I get myself killed. Number 3, SpiderMan Miles Morales. Man, does anyone remember the PS5 came out this year? Me neither. I played this game on the PS4, which, while not the best version of this game, is perfectly fine, and is still the same amazing game that the PS5 version is. Now, before you all jump at me for putting the game this high, let me defend myself. You can use a cat to fuck up bad guys, like come on, what was I supposed to do? But seriously, I love this game. Well, yes, it does at times feel like Spider-Man PS4 DLC, this game more than makes a case for it being its own game. Honestly, the only thing holding it back is its length, in that regard, it's not that long of a game, and considering Spider-Man PS4 was already not long, this game can be beaten in a day, maybe less. But it makes up for it by adding so many quality of life changes and removing a lot of the complaints that people had with the original game. No more basic human stuff, no more of those weird puzzles, no more of those weird ass sections of the original game that didn't serve no purpose. You can even climb over ledges now! That was something you couldn't do in the original, but now you can! Miles is so fun to use, from his bioelectricity powers that make combat fun as hell, his invisibility that makes stuff way more interesting than the gadget fest that one was, and the way he does things so slightly differently from Peter is so fun to see in action. I love all the little things and animations and attention to detail that show Miles' difference to Peter. He has his own style. No, I will not make an exaggerated black teen joke there, and you can't make me. Oh wait, I kinda just did. Shit. Anyways, I really like the tones of this game. While the main plot suffered from being a little too similar to the first game, at the same time, there was still plenty of stuff I enjoyed. Whether it be Miles' relationship to his family, like his mom and uncle, his friends like Genki, and overall the theme of community that this game had with helping your fellow man and feeling like you're Harlem Spider-Man. It was something that made this game so special to me, and while the actual story is alright, just too similar to Spidey PS4 at its best, and okay, this is just Spidey PS4 but worse at its worst, the side story, side activities, and overall gameplay made this game great to me. And while I still am debating with myself if it's better than Spidey PS4, I can still at least say that I like it as much as I liked Spidey PS4. So that is still a lot of praise for me. Number 2, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So can we talk about how out of nowhere this game was? Deadass, I was at work one day when my friend texted me like, by the way, there's a Hyrule Warriors sequel coming out, and I was like, bitch, what? Now, unlike the other Nintendo Warriors games, this game isn't an overall tribute to its franchise. Instead, it's one giant love letter to Breath of the Wild. Honestly, this game is perhaps the most different of any of the Nintendo Warriors games because this game walks a fine line between being a flat-out Warriors or a general Breath of the Wild hack and slash. I mean, it still plays and feels like Warriors, but there's still definitely enough Breath of the Wild here to stand out. The Sheikah Slate is a fine replacement for the items from 1, and honestly, they fit way better into the combat than the items ever did. The characters are very fun, even if I am overall mixed on a lot of them, since just like 1, Link has a major advantage to everyone else with the Master Sword that makes him overpowered in some chapters. And honestly, I wasn't a fan of quite a few of the chapters, like the Great Fairies. They were just way too big for my liking. Rivali, I couldn't get his combat down, and there's a few more other characters I won't spoil that also did not strike my fancy. But on the other hand, characters like Link, Impa, Zelda, and some spoiler characters were so fun to use, man. And hey, look at Sakurai saying that Zelda wasn't a fighter, and here she is, killing thousands of enemies. You'll love to see it. Anyways, alright, enough sucking this game off. Let's talk about the bad and weird stuff. First off, this game runs like ass! The frame rate dips from time to time, poppin' happens a lot, and this game can look downright muddy at points. I didn't have as many problems as other people did when it comes to the frame rate, but they do exist, and god, when they exist, they're atrocious. Another thing is, damn, this game is harder than I thought it'd be. Like, I died way more times than I thought I was going to. And healing in this game is a bitch, since they only allow you to do it with apples you can find, and these bitches don't pop up that often. Also, shit, this game's story dropped the ball. It's not a bad story, far from it. But damn, I won't spoil it here, but oh my god, that was a weird ass twist they decided to do. Well, at least some of the stuff they did with it was cute, but if they were gonna go that route, they should have went way more in depth with it. They did the bare minimum. But yeah, this game's good and I really enjoy it. I have another video coming out eventually giving my thoughts on this game, so hopefully I'll be able to go more in depth there. Also, real quick, before I move on, can we point out how this bitch became the best-selling Warriors game in 4 days? In 4 days, it sold almost 4 million copies. God damn, that Breath of the Wild pussy got people acting strange. Breath of the Wild's 2 sales are gonna be fucking astounding, oh my goodness. Anyways, before I go into my number 1, let's give some honorable mentions. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Encore. This was a big one for me, honestly. This one was one of my favorite games I've played this year. While yes, this game is anime as shit, it doesn't change the fact that it had fantastic turn-based gameplay with a style that I love to death. No, seriously, while I have another video coming out soonish about how much I really like this game, I can't undersell how much I enjoyed this game's battle system. I also really like its story, even if it's so anime, it honestly gets ridiculous at some points. The characters are fun, and I just really like this game. Honestly, the only problem about it and being on this list is that Encore is basically just the same game, just it's on Switch now. Like, there's not much changed. There's things added to the game, like DLC dungeons that help you grind, new session attacks for non-playable characters that can make session combos even easier, and one added dungeon. Other than that, there's nothing really new to this game. Like, this game is so much of the same game, you can see the Wii U buttons on the HUD. So, because of that, I couldn't put it on the list, so instead, it gets this mention. Mega Man Zero and ZX Collection. God, I fucking devoted my life to this when it came out. Y'all don't understand, the Zero series are some of my favorite GBA games. I love 1 through 3, I don't like 4, but 1 through 3 are so good, I was willing to do it. And it allowed me to try out the ZX games. ZX is fun for what it was, and while I couldn't get into Advent, both of them are fine enough games that just struggle to be Metroidvanias and Mega Man games at the same time. Honestly, it was a weird combination, but I think these games are still good. And it doesn't change the fact that every one of these games in this collection are worth playing. Well, except for one of them, but whatever, you know what I mean. The reason it's not on the list is because it's a collection of decade-old games. Almost 2 decade old in the case of Zero, oh my god. So yeah, that is what kept it here. And before any of you ask, no, I'm not putting Mario 3D All-Stars on this list of honorable mentions, either. Because that game has too much shit and bad qualities for me to consider it. Damn that limited release thing, Jesus Christ. And finally, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. This game qualifies as a game to be on the list since it is a good game that came out this year, but I just couldn't put on the list in good faith. If this was a top 10, then sure, but this game has one problem. It really is just Puyo Tetris Plus. Like, it adds one truly new thing with the skill battle mode, but even that's taken from the 3DS game Puyo Puyo Chronicles. Other than that, this game just has all the same shit as the first game. Which I guess is common enough for puzzle game sequels, but this time it just feels weird. Now, if you watched this channel before, you know I love Puyo Puyo, and I love Tetris. And Puyo Tetris 1 is still deadass one of my favorite puzzle games ever. But like, I just can't put this game on the list. I still love this game, I really do, and who knows, maybe with the updates, this game could be so much more than it is right now, but as it stands, it's just a really good puzzle game that's just way too similar to its original game. Also, the story disappointed me. It had good ideas and I still loved the character interactions, but damn, I didn't like the amnesia thing and how quickly they dropped all the other characters. I think I still overall prefer the story of 1. which is a weird thing to say about a puzzle game, but I still love this game for its fun gameplay regardless. So if you haven't played 1, then I'd say you can get away with just getting 2 and moving on. So with all that said, let's get into my number 1 game. Last of Us 2, baby! No, I'm not gonna do that. That game can go fuck itself. Instead, the true number 1 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh my god, I can talk about how much I love this game for hours. I won't lie, I was scared about this game. Some things leading up to it gave me bad signs, and after Kingdom Hearts 3 broke my heart, I was scared for another big Square Enix action RPG. But this game took my expectations and threw them out the window. This game should be applauded for how it turned a 5-hour section of the original game, not even, and turning it into a full-ass experience that is so filled with life, charm, and fun to be had, it blew my mind. Honestly, after playing so much Kingdom Hearts, it was so refreshing to see this game have such a natural story and dialogue. Fucking these characters were amazing to watch with how they were expanded. Barrett's team is so fun now with Big's exaggerated personality, Wedge's wholesome personality, and Jesse's fucking thirst for Cloud. It was all so fun to watch. Don't even get me started on Barrett himself. Remake makes him so much charisma and charm. I love every second this man is on screen. And that can go for the other characters as well. Cloud is back to being just a slightly angsty dork who does a lot of silly shit in the middle of trying to pretend to be edgy. Tifa is a fun brawler who can crack jokes and be fun all the time. And Aerith is amazing. Like, they turned her into such a hilarious, fun to watch badass chick that every scene with her is a delight. And the gameplay is amazing as well. The combat here is so fast and stylish, the magic and limit system both make this game so fun to control, and see how you can manage all the systems at play. Traveling the world isn't as much of a thing since a lot of the things here are very point A to point B, but the few places that are open to explore are very fun and the side missions are just a joy. Most of the time. Honestly, I can't sum up what makes this game amazing. It just is. And the fact that this is all just part 1 of the game makes me excited. With that said, I can see things going downhill. While some of the changes they made on one hand excite me, on the other hand, they make me question what's going to be the future for this game. And though I praise the gameplay and changes, not every single one landed a chord with me. And some of the bosses can drink my piss. But aside from that, I love this game and I'm comfortable calling it my favorite game from this crappy year. But with that said, oh my god, this year's finally over! I know it's not immediately gonna get better once 2021 comes, but fuck! I just want to leave this year behind me already. And I'm sure plenty of other people can agree. But enough about that. What did you all think of this video? Do you agree with my picks? Tell me what your thoughts are below if you feel like it. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I hope to be making more videos soon. I am Jxbermudez, and I am signing out. Peace! So, can we all agree the Game Awards this year was fucked with Last of Us 2? Like, how did a game like this fucking win almost every single fucking award? And also, how the fuck has that game gotten the critical praise it has? Like, goddamn, the difference in critical reception and reception of people who played it, like random people and fans, is so fucking astoundingly different. Like, I think this game will forever be one of the best examples of critic difference between random people difference. Jesus Christ. Not only that, but how did a game with this much shit behind it win Best Direction? That's actually bullshit. Look at the fucking horror stories of the development of this game. Crunch in this game was fucking infamous. The no crunch meme is a thing, yet this game won Best Direction. How the fuck? Okay, video's over now. Goodbye. Bye.